A very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. And first of all, I thank very much for getting this opportunity to share some of my comments about how to build an efficient data center. I think since yesterday we have heard in a couple of sessions the key initiatives being taken by the NEGP and the several government departments at state level as well as central level to computerize the whole process. And slowly we are now narrowing down to the key initiatives. I think as this morning we've spoken, the first thing is having the infrastructure first, the network and connectivity, the so-called the SWAN project. And I'm glad to hear that a couple of states are going in a big way and they're almost at the verge of completion. And of course, then you have the CSC, the service centers, which is very important in rural as well as urban areas. And I'm sure that all of you will agree, end of the day, what is the key component for all this to happen very smoothly and efficiently without any failure and, with the highest availability? The key component is, of course, the data. So without data, all this is of no use. If you don't have cars and trucks and buses, highways of no use. And that's what we are narrowing down now to the topic of this session, the state data centers. So I would like to share out of my experience some of the key points that we must keep. Today we know that the applications are demanding, more storage capacity, more CPU power. So which means for a project like Government of India is initiating at the state government level as well as at central level. So we're talking about huge number of servers and terabytes and petabytes of storage, which means they will all have to be integrated very well, keeping in view things like scalability, availability, and security, and various other points. So what I'm trying to say is that when you design a data center, we don't talk about, just pushing in many servers. We should push in many servers intelligently using different virtualization technology, like you consolidate everything, into one place, and using several virtualization technology like partitioning and like virtual machines, etc. I won't go into too much technology because that can be a couple of hours or half a day session if you start that. So what I mean to say is that most of the servers in a data center typically are utilized 10 to 20% of its power. So maybe instead of 10 boxes, you could do with maybe 4 boxes, and use the resources most optimally. So that's very important, So designing a data center, not pushing in boxes, but pushing in boxes very intelligently after proper sizing and positioning and right partitioning to see that whatever is being invested is being used most optimally. So when we're talking about a virtualized environment, with even however we virtualize, still, there'll be a lot of servers and lots of boxes which are highly rack optimized, and the issue comes, these servers do ask for lots of power, right? Electrical power. Okay, that becomes an issue many times. Right? Also, it needs a proper cooling system because these are the new technology. They generate tremendous amount of heat. So I would say, after consolidation, the next 2 challenges is how to maintain the proper environment in the computer center, the right power system, right electrical, infrastructure, UPS, etc., and of course the air conditioning. And again, it's a different challenge. Air conditioning is not just by putting in a couple of blowers, but that's an engineering by itself, right? So now I think in our country we have certain situation where either the space is an issue, like you need a data center where, per square feet, the number of CPUs you need is much more. All right, that can be an issue. Power could be an issue. Air conditioning can be an issue. So we have come out with an initiative. When I say we, the Sun Microsystem has come out with an initiative called the Project Black Box. Now, what is this about? Actually, it's very interesting. Actually, if you can go to www.sun.com, just type in the search Black Box. Black Box is very easy to remember. All right. So you'll get lots of information. But in brief, I can tell you this is basically a virtualized data center, which is all housed in a container that you see in a port or a truck sometime in the city you see. So they're basically a containers that has everything that can house up to 700 CPUs. It can house up to something like 3,000 cores, or it could go up to 8,000 multi-threads, So this is, and also it has an inbuilt UPS system, etc. So this project had been very successful in Europe and also in the Western country. Must be wondering, why in those countries, because the infrastructure is pretty good. Like we have a case in Manhattan, like in New York, where a customer has a problem of space. Like so many buildings are there. So all that they do is that when they need the scalable solution, their data center runs out of space to accommodate any more rack. So all that they did is that they bought one black box from us, and they just crane lifted it on top of the terrace, and they just put chiller, and they just put power connection and network connection, and it becomes part of the data center, which is on maybe second floor or third floor, in the building. Maybe the terrace is 100 and odd floor, So what I'm saying is that even, these kind of things can resolve this key issue of space and power and air conditioning, so which is quite self-shared. So it's in a way a ready-to-go data center solution, basically. But when you are designing a data center, it's not so simple as I'm saying a ready-to-go data center. It may not be applicable most of the time, but certainly I would say, before just concluding my a short presentation here, that designing a data center is not putting in storage and processor boxes, but it is really how intelligently you do. The designing is very, very important, and that's what I think any vendor does that actually. Yeah. So this is in short. I just wanted to share some of the key challenges and key points that we must keep in mind while designing an efficient data center. Scalability, security, high availability is very important, and of course the environment is very, very important. If you don't maintain the right temperature, the electronic components in your valuable investment that you make on the process and storage boxes, the life can depreciate by half its life. So this is in brief about me, and thanks a lot. And if you'll have any questions, I would be more than happy to answer. If I cannot answer, I'll make a note and reply to you all. So should we have now, or should we?
Again, I said open to burning questions only.
Yeah. Yes, actually this container comes with inbuilt UPS. It comes with the air conditioning, not 100%, because end of the day what happens is this container comes with several ports outside. It will have an inlet water and outlet water. So water has to be supplied from outside, a clean water. So basically it's got a chiller unit inside a compact unit, so which takes the water in and circulates through the whole container and keeps intelligently cool at every point.
It has a UPS also within it.
UPS can be put inside it because we have, in Europe and States, of course, in India we haven't had a chance because it is pretty new project, just 2 months now. So, but I'm sure that there will be a lot of requirement in the defense area. There is a lot of talk being talked about, this container can be put in a desert also. It can be put on top of, the Himalayas maybe, if a cable can go for giving power or so. But the answer to your question is yes, UPS can be inbuilt. There is enough space provided there. So, or you could give a power supply as an output of a UPS into this black box.
What is the size of the container?
This is a standard container, the big one, that you see. I don't remember the spec. I'm sorry about that, but I'm sure that if you go to the website that I had mentioned, the Sun website, just go to the search and put in the search for black box. I think you will get lots of information. It's pretty new product actually. It's a new project or product, whatever you call it. I would say more of a project. Yeah. So thank you very much. And if you have any more questions, later also we can. Oh yeah, sorry.
Hello. Good morning, sir. So I want to ask one question. Those who are having the data center, what will be the roadmap for them?
For the black box, you mean?
Yeah.
So as I told you, a data center is designed today keeping in mind one of the key factors is scalability, right? Data is growing day by day, right? I just share a small this thing. I remember the first PC I bought for my home